How's it going, rednecks? I'm out in the garage getting ready to work on the Yukon again, and I got something I gotta show you. Boom. That's right, my buddy Lance stopped by and helped me put the motor in. We had that thing in about half an hour, and I think it's time to start putting stuff on that thing. What do I mean? I mean that guy right there. I power washed off the intake. It's been sitting for about 2 days. It should be nice and dry. So what do you say I go over a little thing I got to do to that before I want to put it on here, and then we'll get it bolted on. Since I'm running the power assisted braking system on this with the hydro boost, I'm not going to need a vacuum line running out of my intake. And what I mean by that is this is your intake right here, and in the back we have this. This goes to your brake booster, and I need to get rid of that. I just so happen to have the motor that brake booster came out of, or the hydro boost, and if you look at the intake on this one, it has a plug off plate. So what do you say we remove this, we remove that, and then we try to install this guy into that intake and plug that port off. So to get this guy out, all we're going to need is a flathead screwdriver. We're going to want to get on this gray ring right here, push that towards the intake while pulling the hose off this way. There we go. And that's it right there. That's just a push to connect little fitting. So what do you say we go to the other motor and get the cap off plate? And here we are. This one has a red ring on it, but we're just going to have to try and push that back towards the intake while pulling the plug out. Oh, that went easy. No, maybe not. Same as the other one. Came out about halfway. There we go. And that's it right there. And with both pieces out, you can see they are the same diameter as well as the same length. But instead of going through to a hose, this one is plugged straight off. So all we're going to need to do is I'm going to take and wipe this thing down, apply a thin coat of WD-40, because I'm sure there's an O-ring or something in there that it seals on. It'd make it easier to push in. You're going to want to seat it all the way, so push it in all the way, and then try to pull it out, and it shouldn't come out without pushing this gray ring forward. So that's installed, and that port is plugged off. With the vacuum port capped off, the only other thing I need to do is get rid of the EGR port, and I have another video on that, but I got to get that plate still because the manifold I installed does not have EGR output on it. That's the 6.0 manifold. And I guess I also wanted to go over everything on the engine's been done as far as underneath. I have the exhaust done, transmission's obviously bolted to the motor, torque converter bolts are done, the cross members put back in, so anything I couldn't really get a good camera angle on has all been done. As well as I've done a little bit of electrical. My NOx sensors are plugged in, my oil pressure sensors plugged in, as well as my cam sensor. So I think this intake's about ready to be put on. I cleaned all the surfaces off, all my gasket surfaces, scraped them all off, as well as I also removed these guys. If you watched one of my other videos, one of my Silver Lake build videos, I went to remove the intake. These things go on the front and back side of your intake, and it creates a little cavity in here. Well, that all filled with sand, and I don't want that to happen on this one, so I removed them. And from now on, anytime I remove one of them intakes, I think I'm going to be religiously removing those. Like I said, there's two, one in the front, one in the back of the intake. So with that being said, what do you say we get that thing set up here and we get it bolted on? Also, before I put this intake on, I wanted to remind you guys that there is a ground bolt back here, and that strap goes up to there. So just don't forget that, guy. It's way easier now than it is later. With the intake on, I went and rechecked every bolt, and they had to be turned quite a bit further. I just got it started with an impact. First I started them by hand and then went with an impact. Now I'm going to do stuff like this. I need to put the evap purge valve on. I want to get my fuel lines installed on the fuel rail. I'll plug in a few other miscellaneous things, and then I want to start putting on my accessories. And those are all right down there. Man, oh man, guys, this is why I hated being a mechanic and why I quit being an auto mechanic. That right there is absolutely absurd. Some engineer sitting at his computer decided that that little bit of room right there was more than enough to replace that. And if I had fenders, inner fenders, the hood, the grill, the radiator, and all that stuff on this, that would be a pain in the butt to get to. Not only that, I don't even have the steering or sway bar in, so yeah, that's obnoxious. But I have to be to work in about 5 minutes. I got to start getting ready. So I guess in the next video, hopefully we'll take the wire there, fold that over top the engine, start hooking more stuff up, and then we get to start working on the front suspension. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and get back to work. What do you think? What do you think? Do they need to get back to work? Do they need to get back to work? Yeah. You're being a good boy, Bolt. Yeah, you are. You can't wait to ride in this thing. Beats that thing.